Sup YouTube? It's been a while, hasn't it? I know I did a couple of videos recently, but not keeping up like I usually do, though. Usually I'm just pumping them out, but it's summertime here. There's only about 8 good weeks up here, as far north as I live, for swimming in the lake, at least my lake anyway. It depends on where your lake is and what size it is. The larger the lake, the longer it takes to warm up, and then by the time a really large lake starts to warm up, then it starts getting cold again. So my lake's pretty large, and so there's only really maybe 4 really good weeks of swimming and 8 to 10 weeks where you could possibly get in there without freezing yourself, right? Not like a polar bear swim, but I mean, um, it's just too cold to enjoy, right? So in the summertime, I like to be out at the lake, enjoying my cabin with my family and my friends. And you might have seen a video that I posted recently, the dock that my son and I made. So that was a big project, and that took a lot of time and effort, that's for sure. Um, but had lots of fun this summer, and had Rank Carcass come and visit me again. You know who he is. He's been to my house a few times for games, and I've been to his house. Um, he and I went to the lake. That's the second time he's been out there, but the first time in the summertime. So we actually got to go boating and everything, and having a few beers on the lake. That was pretty cool. Um, so yeah, that was fun. And also while we were playing that game, Gargantua was up from Vancouver, so that was his first trip to my war room back there. He didn't stay long; like he was only here for an hour or two. He came up for other reasons, but while he was here, he just wanted to stop in and say hello. So that was nice of him. Anyway, been a really busy summer. Even though I haven't been working much, I've had some health issues. It's nothing too serious, but it's just something that keeps me from working. So I've been off work for about a month now, and probably be off a couple weeks more, and then I'll be back. That'll be nice. It would be nice to. I'd like to say it'd be nice taking the summer off, but when you're not there, they don't pay you, and sick pay isn't nearly as much. It's about half as much money, so it's not like you can really enjoy yourself, right? I was just down in Vancouver. I had to go down for a test at the hospital down there, and it's not like I could live it up when I was there. Although I did stay in a pretty nice mansion. That was pretty neat. Laying out by the pool, recovering from my procedure in the hospital. Anyway, lots of things going on. First of all, let me just say thank you to Grasshopper. Young Grasshopper, he did a top 10 video the other day. Top 10 Access and Allies YouTubers or Access and Allies style games, and just like Grasshopper, he couldn't make a choice. All top tens were ties, so it was really a top 20. He's too nice a guy to leave too many people off the list. So anyway, it was Sired Blood and I who came. We were tied for first place, and I really appreciate that. I know I put a lot of effort in, and so does Sired Blood. I mean, he probably puts in uh, more effort than me for sure. Just about as much as anybody in the community, though, because of all the work that he does with his customizations and everything. He doesn't get as many videos out, but he's busy doing other things. As many videos as I do, I mean, but he's busy doing other things behind the scenes, organizing his tournament, creating his own rule set. I don't know if you've seen the other day, but man, he just got a bunch of rule books printed out for the bloodbath rules, and spectacular, like really nice rule books. And so congratulations to him, and I know they're going to have a good time. He's a good guy, and all the people that are going there, most of them were there last year, and they're returning, and then there's a bunch of new guys going this year. I know everybody's going to have a fabulous time. He and I were teammates at Grasshopper Invitational a couple years ago, so interesting that we would both be tied for number one on the top YouTubers. Um, anyway, I'm honored, and I'm sure that he is as well. It's coming from Grasshopper. It is a high praise. Like you appreciate kind words from anybody, but coming from him, that's very high praise. I really appreciate that. So thanks to my friend Grasshopper for that. Um, Lots of other things going on. As you know, 36 is in the works, version 3. And my version 3 is ready to go. I've got all my pieces, just about all my pieces, painted and everything. I've got them all for sure on me. But the final setups aren't quite done yet. So, like, I know I painted up all my neutrals right for the new setups, and then I received another email with a new set of rules, and so oh geez, this setup's different. So I'm gonna wait until it's finally done, and then I'm going to finish off my facilities and my neutrals. But I've got all the nations done. You know, like the Americans, I don't need any more for them or for any of the other nations. It's just there's some new units in this game that here. Let me just show you what I'm using here. Like the early war battleships, right? Uh, there's early war battleships in the game. So like this one here, this is a British one. So I've got a bunch of these ready to go. I just need to know what color to paint them. And it seems what they mostly are is neutrals. Like I would have thought there would be lots of Japanese and German and things like that, right? But no, most of the early war battleships that you're going to find in the new setup for version 3 are neutral countries, and there's a few other ones, right? Um, there's I think there's a British one, and I can't remember, and I don't know really because the setups aren't done right. But it's getting really close though. I know that because I'm working on it or I'm helping. There's 7 of us who were playtesting down in Tulsa back in April, and um, and the wheels are really turning. Everybody's working hard on that. I think Misha is working on the newer games like Cold War game, but everybody else has been busy with version 3, and he's keeping a close eye too. But um, I think Robert, he's mostly working on expansion sets. Lots of new expansion sets you've probably seen recently, diplomacy and war plans for a few different nations. Lots of new things coming out there. But the version 3, though, I can see the rules evolving because we have an ongoing, let's just say, chat. It's over email, but it's you might as well be in a chat room, right? Um, a few times a week, somebody will pose a question or throw out a suggestion, or Doug will show us a bunch of new markers and ask us what color they should be or something, right? And so everybody has an opportunity to weigh in and say what they think should happen. For me, I was going through the whole rule book, the version 3 rule book and the version 2 rule book, because they're not exactly the same. So I've been comparing the two of them. Plus, I get a lot of questions having a channel with, especially with a video rule book on it. Yeah, like it must be like 25, 30 episodes of the version 2 rule book that I did. And I wasn't an expert when I did that. I know a lot more about the rules now, but still I wouldn't consider myself an expert at it. So I've been through the rule book a number of times now, like meticulously going over it and trying to look for things that I don't quite understand, and so I'll write that down. I'll say, what does this exactly mean? Like that you've said this and you've said this, so which is it? And also from the questions that I get, or the questions that I see on accessandallies.org or Facebook or wherever. Um, if I see a question, sometimes I know the answer to it. Sometimes I look it up and I find the answer, and I know like I just didn't find it. And sometimes it's not there, or it's that's a good question. I wonder if anybody ever thought of that one. So I put together pages and pages and pages of these, and I've sent them off uh, a week or two ago. And so they're going over those, and they're going over all the information that they get from the other guys as well, and they're hoping to have the rule book done in about 2 months, like done, completely done, sent out to us so that we can look over and find typos, and oh, this one over here in the UK section doesn't match the one in the regular rules or something, right? Making sure that all the numbers are right, that all the costs are, and all the movement and all attack and defense, because there can be typos that if you're just one person, then it's almost impossible with that size of a rule book and all those player aids to catch everything. And so we're going to try to catch everything. Um, Everybody's really focused on that. Um, we want to make this the best World War II game there is, right? The best one that's ever been made. And there's different styles, right? Like there's the kind, the chits and everything, and those people think that we're weird for using plastic, right? No, no, I know you have to have numbers on them and everything, and I don't get that myself. I like to play with little plastic army men, but we're trying to make the best game there is, and the rules have been evolving since our playtest. Um, some of them have changed, some of them haven't changed. And the map is almost done. I'm hoping to get a copy in about a month. I'm praying that I get a copy in about a month because I'm really excited about it. I know you guys are excited about because you're getting people are throwing out the questions all the time. When's it going to be done? When's it going to be done? When's it going to be done? And you think you're excited. I'm really excited because I can't wait to see with all the work that we've done, what's stuck and what was thrown aside, right? I want to know, I can remember the debates that we've had and stuff, and how did that rule shake out? You know what I mean? What's the final verdict on that one? And also the map, probably the map more than anything. I'm really excited to see. I can't wait to find out where all the facilities are and things like that. I've hesitated painting any more facilities because, as you know, there's a lot more different kinds of naval bases on there. When I say naval bases, it could be ports, it could be dockyards, it could be shipyards, and there's major and minor for all three groups of them. And I didn't want to paint them and then have to paint them again and paint them again because I just I was too excited and I couldn't wait. So there's that, and looking forward to the final art. I think it's going to be a spectacular map. Um, I think it's going to be a huge improvement on the version 2. And the version 2 map was pretty nice. In fact, I actually have one here. See that? It's a cloth one though, but still, it's a version 2 map, and that is going to be a prize. Not today. I'm not going to give this one away today, but I stepped out on my doorstep this morning. I was going outside to paint some armored cars for my World War I game, and I came across this box on my doorstep. Check this out. Look at all this stuff in here. This is all, Doug sent me a box of prizes to give away. I guess maybe he's trying to hint to me that I haven't been putting out enough videos lately. Where are you, Brian? We need some more videos. But anyway, like here, I'll get to show you some of this stuff that he sent me. We'll give away a prize in this video, of course. But lots of, like these, I love these new task force markers. So here, let's just open one of these up here. These are really nice. Like I've got the old style that are prettier than this. But the problem that I have with those is that, like the American one is green. You know what I mean? And so you put your green ships and your green dudes on there and tanks and everything, and it's hard to see them, right? Whereas these things here are, you'll be able to see through them. Like you look here, like you can see through that, right? So you can still see the map underneath it, but also you'll be able to see the pieces on top. Let me just grab a piece here. Like that piece is going to stand out, right? It's just not going to get lost in there, unless you have a really light blue piece. I don't think there's any of those in there. And then of course, let me just. Geez, you know what? I don't have a roundel on me. I'll just put this little marker on here. So this is the thing that'll go on the board, right? And then you'll just put your roundel right here. Just throwing a marker on there. But anyway, those are really nice. I almost thought I should keep that instead of giving it away, but I'll give it away. Tell you what, let's give that away for a prize today. Okay, we'll give this thing away. This is a really, really nice one here. But there's tons of stuff in here. Let me just put this away and we'll go through some of the other stuff. So there's lots of expansion sets in here. Lots of World War I coasters. I've been really looking forward to getting World War I coasters. If you were watching the game I was playing with Rank Carcass, we were just putting a roundel on top of them, right? So like here's the Spanish Civil War, and there's the cardboard things here, but there's also the nice roundels in here as well. But anyway, this is a really good set to get, the Spanish Civil War, because when you're building the game, that's a lot of units in there, right? There's Turkey at War. Look at all these coasters in here. There's just tons of them. So I'll be giving these away for a while. I don't even know what a lot of this stuff is. There's Winter War. That's another expansion set. That's oh yeah, that's Africa Corps. This one is, I think this is German war plans. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at that. I'll look at it later. There's the new supply markers. Those are pretty nice here. Let me get that up nice and close. So there's a whole set of supply markers there that I'll be giving away at some point. Oh, these are nice too. This is the set that when Doug first contacted me a year and a half ago or something like that, I was still an Axis and Allies player for the most part. I hadn't played Global War yet. And he said, what do you guys need in the Axis and Allies community? I said, we need marker sets, so we don't have to buy them like 5 at a time. So that's the whole marker set that you need for Axis and Allies. Like all of the good markers. There's all of the factories that you need, colored factories. And so I went through my board and everything, and this is the exact amount that you need to play that game. So yeah, this is really upscales your board using these things, as opposed to using little cardboard pieces of crap that you get out of the Axis and Allies games. They're really cheaped out on the last, since Anniversary Edition. They started cheaping out on, like not giving out money and things like that, right? So Doug's got all kinds of new markers in here. I haven't even gone through these yet, but tons of stuff here. City, entrenched, at sea. Like there's so many different kinds of markers. Here's this weather ones. These are nice. Iceberg, snow, storm, quake, typhoon. Lots of I'm not going to use these myself right away. I think it's hard enough when you're playing 36 to play with just the out-of-box rules, and especially if you're trying to teach somebody. And I could see for a while now always having to teach people until there's enough people that know how to play the game, that you're all a bunch of experts that are around the table. But to throw in a bunch of weather things like that or whatever in that game would be tough. I could see myself throwing these into a game of Global 40 because I know those rules, so like in my sleep, right? What else? Well, there's a bunch of markers. Look at those ones. These are a bunch of looks like mostly the sea markers, right? Like you got your torpedo net, your anti-submarine warfare, construction, canals, all kinds of different stuff. So anyway, like when it's time to give away prizes, then I'll pick a prize out of my little tickle trunk here. Here's Canada at War, and plus I have, because Doug sent me some of these things. What are they? The Corvettes. He's got a set of 8 Corvettes on his Shapeways site. So these are the ones that I had. So when I do give away the Canada at War set, I'll give away a bunch of these Corvettes because I've got a bunch extra ones there. What else? I think these are bunkers. They've got numbers on them, so I'm not sure what those are about, but we're gonna find out. Here's a couple of these. They're seasons, different season markers. It went away on me there. Just hang on a second. I know it's still filming, but if I don't touch my computer after, I don't know how long it is, but it goes away on me. So yeah, these are nice little bunkers. Like I've got some nice bunkers, but they're bigger. These things are small and they'll fit in territories nice. So I'm not sure what the numbers are, but that that could be the different strength of the bunkers or something. And of course, we know what these are. These are an invention that Doug and I came up with. These are your fuel gauge markers. So there's will be another prize at some point. These, bunch of bombs and stuff. Yeah, skip bomb, smoke bomb. Lots of different kinds of bombs in here. Atomic bomb. What's this one? Oh, I know what this is. American Minorities at War, one of my favorite expansion sets. If you don't have that one, that's a really cool one to play with. It's kind of like the Elite of the Reich or the Elite of the Soviet Union. It just kicks up some of your units, right? They play it a little bit differently, so I've kind of changed it a little bit because it seems kind of a drag that everybody else gets theirs for basically for free, and America has to pay a bunch of money for those. But that was an expansion set that came out a long time ago, and so where did that thing go? Oh, there it is. And so you know what? We'll give away a set of coasters too. Get rid of these ones. These ones. So this is going to be today's prize. Task Force markers and a set of World 1 coasters. I noticed on the World War I's coasters here, like they got them printed two sides for, like there's the Russian, there's the American, right? But they'll give you two of those because you're going to want a Russian and an American, right? And there's the German and the Austria-Hungary one. And then they got there's the other one. And then there is Turkey, so that's good. I'm going to use that for my Turkey at War as well. And Italy. And then you got Turkey and Italy. And France and Britain. So that's cool. So we're going to send those out to somebody. Of course, there's 8 countries in the World War One. In the Global War version coming up, the Global War 14, there is actually 10 countries, but one of them is Japan, and we've already got coasters for those, and the other one's China, and I don't think they collect money, so don't really need a coaster, although we do have the Chinese coasters. So anyway, that's going to be today's prize, is this right here. And yeah, so the game is coming along really, really well, and it's going to be soon. I can't do anything about guarantees or anything, but I would be highly shocked if it wasn't out this year. Like I think it's going to be out before Christmas for sure. I just know how far along it is, and it's really close. It's just about ready. Like within months of printing it, right? And so we're all excited about that, and I know the people out there that want to play the game, they're excited about that. You know what? While I'm looking at this, something just caught my eye here. You remember all those off-colored pieces that Doug had, right? Like they were the neutrals, but this wasn't the right color. There was a few different colors. There was a blue and a gray, and like there's the ship. He did a video the other day. It's a good video. You should check it out. It's on the Historical Board Gaming YouTube channel, and also you can link to it on the Global War page on Facebook. By the way, if you're not a member of the Global War Facebook page, you should go there if you're interested in the game, because there's you get lots of information there, lots of pictures and links to videos and stuff. A lot of the work that we do. But anyway, he did a video the other day, and when I was there in April, there was a whole section, like a huge amount of these pieces. It looked like there was no end to them, right? And so this is what I did when I put together my World War I game. I wish I had that option when I did the World War II game, because it costed me a lot more money. But the World War I game was a lot cheaper because once you had the Axis and Allies 1914 game, then you just needed a few more units, right? That didn't come with that game. So like you needed militia. You can get these 25 of them for $2, right? And torpedo boat destroyers. I just used the neutral transports. I think that's a Dutch transport, but you could also use the Dutch destroyer. There was a few different colors of the odd ones. But the reason I mention this now is because when he was doing his video, I seen how much he's got left, and it's not much. So if you're planning on doing that, if you're planning on buying some of these off-colored units, and you're gonna have to paint them, unless of course your neutrals are all gonna be this color, and there's nothing wrong with that. Putting all your neutrals on the board and they're the same color, that'll work too, right? But if you're planning on painting them, then great idea to pick some up now because they're not going to be there much longer. At least not the ones you want anyway. Like there might be a ton of armored cars left or something. You know what I mean? The kind of stuff that nobody wants or needs. Like you're going to need some armored cars for the World War One game. In fact, that's what I'm painting today. But you're not going to need hundreds of them, right? But you are going to need lots and lots of the militia. And if you're going to get into the Global War 1914 game next year, these pieces won't be there next year. So you might want to get them this year, even if you pick them up and do nothing with them. Like they've got pre-dreadnoughts. And so I showed you what I'm using for the early war battleships in 36. That's the same sculpt that I'm using for the dreadnoughts, the pre-dreadnoughts. So you could use the battleship from this set. Those could be your pre-dreadnoughts. You know what I mean? There's lots of things that you could use those sets for, and also like there's the Japanese pieces and the Russian pieces and the Axis miners pieces. There's lots of those as well. But like I said, you're gonna have to get them now because from what I've seen from his video and what I've seen in April, they're not going to be there much longer. And this is a really good way to stock your game um, for cheap, especially if you're willing to paint your stuff. Anyway, as far as that 1914 game goes, if you've seen one of my last videos there, it was me playing against Rank Carcass. And the rules are pretty complicated for that game, like too complicated. So we simplified them a bit. And I'd like to see in the end, when that game is ready to go, that it's simplified. Like there was a lot of work done on it, but it's like you put a whole bunch of ideas together, but you don't play it, too much. But you got all these great ideas, and they're all really good ideas. It's just in order to make the game flow better, it's going to need some work, right? It's going to need to be simplified here and there. And so that's what we were doing, and I'm going to finish that game because I'm not going back to work just yet. I've still got some time left, and I'd like to try a few things that we weren't playing. Like I'd like to try some kind of supply thing where you need supply trucks and supply depots, just because there isn't as many units in the 14 game as there is in the 36 game. There just wasn't many things, right? Like we're talking 1914. That's the dawn of the internal combustion engine. You know what I mean? Where they were actually driving cars. It was just starting. So there's just not that many units. So I think adding something like that would be nice, and I'm gonna try. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. I've been thinking about it a lot. But I'm just going to throw it down there. Play a whole round, and well, that sucked. So do it again. Like try a different rule. If you have any ideas for me, then that would be nice. In fact, in order to win the prize, let's just do it that way. If you want to win that prize that I showed you, then give me some ideas on how to work supply. Using the supply chips that I told you about, and then the little motorized trucks that you have for 36. I'm going to use those. I've got them all painted up for the 14 game as well. So I'm going to use the little trucks. I'm going to use the little supply depots. So come up with something like that and tell me you want to win the prize. and that's how you get it on the prize. There, see, my work is done now. I don't have to think anymore. I wish. What else we got? Looking around at all this stuff here. Is there anything else I need to show you? I don't think so. I'm getting up close to 2,000 subscribers here. Like maybe within a couple of weeks, I might get there. Um, that kind of blows me away. But I'm not going to go on too much about that right now. I'll wait till I do a video at the time when I go over that number, and of course there'll be a pretty nice prize. That's probably what I'm going to save that map for. Throw that and another prize or two in with it for the 2,000 subscribers. And of course, you're going to have to be a subscriber. You don't do a video on 2,000 subscribers and then give a prize away to somebody that isn't a subscriber, right? So I'm going to do that. And I'll probably make more videos as I'm playing this game, to show you, okay, so this is what I've been trying, and this is what. I know another thing that Doug is looking for in that game right now is he's looking for random events. We talked about this yesterday. We had a long conversation on the phone, and we were using those when we were simplifying. We thought, no, this is good. It's actually a pretty simple thing to do. At the start of the round, you roll the dice. It's a 12-sided dice, and there's 12 different things. So in the spring of 1915, there will be a list of 12 things, right? And you roll the dice, and that thing happens, whatever it is. It could be something happened in Greece or something. So a bunch of guys go on the board, or a bunch of guys get wiped out, or anyway. So he's looking for that. He made a post on the Global War page on Facebook. So if you want to have some input on that, then you can look up the Global War page on Facebook and throw some suggestions at him. It'd be kind of cool for you because when you get the 1914 Global War 14 game and you go to play that, you go, I made this rule. I was the one that said they should do this. I know I'm going to have that feeling because I'm sure they'll use a couple of rules that I had, or a couple of my suggestions, but not all of them. That's for sure. Nobody gets everything they want, right? But I'll be happy to just get a couple of things in there, and so when I'm playing the game, then I'll get that little rush, like, ooh, that was my idea. So this is a chance for you to get one of your ideas in, is to let Doug know, give him a list of random events that happened in between 1914 and 1918, like the years of the First World War, right? And it could be something that happened in the war, could be something that happened outside that affected the war. He's looking a lot for things that happened in South America, in Africa, in Asia, because there's lots that is happening in Europe on the game, right? But in order to get more things happening in these other places, then if you had some of these random events, oh hey, a bunch of shit went down in South America, you know what I mean? Then that might jumpstart something over there, right? So that'll be kind of cool if we can find a few things like that. Yeah, so by all means, throw your suggestions in there. He'll certainly welcome them. You don't even have to, say, okay, so you should do this, like if you just give him the random event, then he can make something up. I know he's really excited about doing stuff like that now because he's always been a really hardworking person. He had a job, and then he had historical board gaming on the side, and so there wasn't much time for him to do anything, right? As far as playing games and stuff like that. So he and plus, like if you'd ever been in the warehouse, there was no room for a table. Like we had to clear a bunch of stuff aside so we could do a play test. And if you've seen that video that he made the other day, he's got himself another office in the same building, a bigger office. He's gonna, aside from setting up his desk and his computer and everything, he's also going to set up 2 game tables so that he can have 2 different games going at once. Like he could have V3 game going, and he could have the Global 14 game going, or maybe Global War 2025 or something, so that he can take part in what we've been doing, right? Like to him, it's just a concept. Um, because he just doesn't have the room until now, and to have a board set up the whole time, so that, like when I ask him a question, he doesn't usually know the answer to it. I usually have to ask Will, because he doesn't have a board set up. He doesn't get to play the game much. He's too busy making markers and ordering pieces and shipping stuff to all of us, right? So anyway, he's really excited about that he can actually take part in, like building a game, right? He can have his 1914 board set up, and it's not till next year, so he can, you know, this would be a good idea, because when you look at it, that can inspire you to come up with ideas, right? I know that's what I do. What I'll do is I'll go in there and I'll just sit there, have a coffee or something, and just sit there and just stare at the board, and I, something catches my eye, and then I look over at this, yeah, you know, yeah, and then maybe that idea doesn't go anywhere, but maybe it starts a different idea or something, right? It's 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 um it's a little easier to see that when you have the board in front of you. Like I know I get ideas and I think, well, is that territory adjacent to that other one, or is there, I'm trying to remember, right? Like, is that going to work? And then, I have to dig the map out and I have to look, oh yeah, that's not going to work. You know, I just wasted 2 hours thinking on that. Anyway, so good for him. He's actually gonna be playing some games and everything. Um, so that's also going to help move things along faster, right? Um, if the guy that's selling the games is actually have the game set up, and he can see what's going on, and say, yeah, that's right, that's what we're going to do. You know what I mean? Rather than just listen to a bunch of other people talk about it, and okay, anyway, so that's going to help things a lot, I think. I don't know when the new pieces are going to come through. Pieces that we talked about back in April, and a few times since, like the tech pieces, the heavy battleships and carriers and things like that. I don't have a timeline on those. Um, I would assume that they're going to be in before the release of the game, and once I get the board, I'm going to play the game by myself probably, so that I can put together a list for everybody of the things that you need. I've done that in the past, and I know it's been helpful to people for version 2. But with the version 3, then I'll do a list from scratch. This is what you need to play this game, and give you options, right? Like you can go with the really nice 3D printed pieces from historical board gaming site on, or from one of the other guys on Shapeways. I tend to go with the historical board gaming ones, because you never know. Like one person's 1:236 scale is different than another person's 1:236 scale, or whatever scale. You know what I mean? 172 or whatever. Uh, there's a big difference between some of them. Like you'll look at a 1/3000 scale battleship from one person, and from another person, and the same battleship, it'll be an inch longer. And like I've showed you that before in videos past, where I've got a battleship that's this long. There's no possible way you can use it in the game. It's twice the size of anything on the board, right? But yet it was 1/3000 scale. Um, so I tend to go get my stuff from there. But hopefully the plastic will be out, so you can get it a lot cheaper. The game will be a lot cheaper for you to do it that way. And maybe we can adjust the sets, like where you've got the torpedo boat destroyers and the coastal subs, so that you get the right amount that you need to play version 3, because I don't know if it's going to be exactly the same with the numbers of these, right? Like that might be slightly different. Um, but yeah, that it'd be nice if we could get those out before. And like I said, I think that'll probably happen. Um, I don't really need any more pieces. I might get some of them. Depends. Like if they're nicer than the ones that I've got, then certainly I'll get some, right? But otherwise, I'm already to play. I just need my map, Doug. I need the setups. I need the finals. Okay, I'll stop now. Okay, um, yeah. Now I think I got you all caught up on all that stuff. And don't forget about the prize we're going to give away. Don't forget what you got to do for it. You just turned it into the video now. I'm not going to remind you. You got to go back. What was it, about 10, 30 minutes ago? Somewhere around there. You got to watch the whole damn video, cheaters. Anyway, it was nice talking to you and nice getting back into painting again. I thought I was done painting, but I started playing with Rank Carcass. He goes, "Where's the armored cars?" Oh, shit. Yeah, they look like a useful unit in this game, whereas in the World War II game, like I've never used one of them, right? So yeah, they were going to be useful in the World War One game. Anyway, got those painted, half painted. I still got to finish them off. So anyway, I'm going to cut it off here. Thanks for joining me today, and take care, everyone. General Hand Grenade out.